Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. Happy Monday everybody, hope you had a great weekend and that you're looking forward to the week ahead of you. Now today CG is taking us to the planet of Nevarro. Now probably you know that Nevarro was a volcanic planet, but did you know that in its lava plains that were otherwise inhospitable to most species, there were a number of different creatures to be found, such as the Reptivian that would attack the unsuspecting victims during the night and was able to lift them up in the air or incapacitate them with their venom. And I'm pretty sure Griff Karga would be able to tell you a story or two about this particular creature. Now as well there were quartums to be found in its lava fields, and lava meerkats could be found in the fiery terrain of the underground lava rivers. So we've got a quite a diverse wildlife there on Nevarro. So if you're into wildlife, you might want to check it out at some point in the future whenever travel restrictions are finally lifted here in the galaxy. Now in this one we have to go against Mandalorians, and we do have to use bounty hunters to get max rewards. Now I'll show you two different bounty hunter squads here. So the first one will be with a 5-star gear 8 or a sing lead. So if you do have good gear 12 or above bounty hunters, you can even use low gear, low star Aurra Lead and get these done with a single team, actually all 4 feats including the stealth feat done. Then the second bounty hunter team I'll show is the same one that I showed you on Friday when we had a Scandal challenge. So this is if you do not have all bounty hunters, especially Griff and Mando at high gear. There will be gear 8 in that second battle. You won't be able to probably make them fast enough that they can outrun the enemy. In that case I had to use Jango Lead that adds plus 30 speed, so we were able to again get a jump start on the enemy with slightly lower gear bounty hunters. However, with that team I wasn't able to complete the stealth feat, so there'll be a third battle in this one. Now there are probably many ways to achieve stealth 10 times, but when was the last time you used Maul lead, right? So those are the 3 battles I'll be showing you today. If you're not interested in all the mechanics and details and mods, you just want to skip through to the battles, follow the YouTube chapters below as always. But now let's get into today's challenge. Now first things first, the modifier for the planet of Nevarro, the Remnant of Power. So whenever a character inflicts a debuff, they gain a stack of Imperial Rule buff, and then for each of those stacks they'll be gaining 2% offense and potency. Now a lot of bounty hunters from our end, they're applying debuffs, so we'll be slowly ramping up our potency and damage, but so will the enemy. Up next, Thrill of the Hunt. So that's the modifier for bounty hunters. You'll start with 9 stacks of true defense, which obviously will boost the survivability of your bounty hunters out of the gate. The code modifier for Mandalorians. So whenever Mandalorian takes damage, all Mandalorians will gain a stack of clan loyalty. Now what clan loyalty will give them? Extra protection and extra counter chance. So the more stacks we'll have, the more reliable their counter attacks will be. So the key here will be, obviously if you're using Aurra Lead, the counter attacks not that much of an issue because of the stealth mechanics. So when you're stealth up, they won't be able to counter attack. And as well, Aurra can their stun on her basic, again preventing counter attacks. With Jango Lead, you'll have to be a little bit more careful there because obviously you do not have Aurra with a stun. However, Boss can stun on his Mass Assist special ability, and Griff can daze as well on his basics. So again, when I'll be showing you mods, I'll try and add some potency to all of these guys so we can get those dazes and stuns stick, so we don't need to worry about too much about counter attacks. Now the team here itself, as you're seeing, there's just some Mandalorians there. They're not really too scary there. The only issue here is their modifier because of all the counter attacks really. That's it. Like if they wouldn't have all these counter attacks, this team wouldn't be at all scary. But like this, if they get counter attacks going and assist and everything, they can quite quickly take out your bounty hunters. So the only threat here really is Canderous, because if he gets going his bonus turn meter, you will be in trouble. So definitely try to land a daze on him, or Burning if you're using Jango Lead. Burning will stop bonus turn meter gain there for Canderous as well. And then finally as well, Bo-Katan, she has a dispel, and daze obviously not ideal because we do want as well our bonus turn meter going in, a mass assists and things like that. Alright, let's have a look at the feats for today. You obviously have to complete the battle, win after taking 8 turns in a row, no issue. Bounty hunters, you know, when they get assists and contracts going, they'll be taking a lot of turns with frenzy and everything. And then you have to complete the battle after gaining stealth at least 10 times. Again, with Aurra Lead, you'll be gaining stealth plenty there for your bounty hunters, especially if you do have Zeta on her. The video I'll show you does not have Zeta on her lead, so you do not need Zeta to get this to work. But if you do not use Aurra there, you'll have to use another team just to get the stealth feat. In my case, I used Maul lead as mentioned before. And finally, obviously it's a bounty hunter challenge, so you do need to use a full team of bounty hunters. So pretty straightforward feats this time, you know, nothing here too crazy. Alright, let me now show you the first team here that I'll be using with Aurra Lead. Let me show you the mods and explain a little bit what's happening here. Now my Aurra here, she's 5-star, gear 8, that's okay, we only need her for her leadership. However, I did mod her for as much potency as I could, so she can hopefully land some there stuns on her basics. There you go, her potency there is at 97%. And obviously also put as much speed as you can on her, that will help also. Mentioned before, basic will stun. And let's look at her leadership. Now obviously I do not have Zeta on her. If you do, then stealth feat will be even easier. But here, essentially the most important thing what it is that when Aurra is in leader, then all bounty hunter attackers will gain stealth. So a little bit I hope you gain that stealth and as well prevent counter attacks. So we'll be using Mandalorian, Boba, Jango, they're all attackers, they will gain stealth. And Grief, he by himself gains stealth anyways from his unique, so the only one exposed there will be Bosk. So the others, no counterattacks through stealth. Brilliant. And as well to mention, her contract is very quickly triggered. All you have to do is use an ability 10 times with your bounty hunters, and because we'll have a speed advantage on them, this will not be a problem. Her contract will trigger very quickly, as you will see in the video. Alright, so Jango here, modded for speed, modded for potency. Now because we are not using Jango Lead, we do not have plus 30 speed for our bounty hunters, so here you definitely will want your Jango as well as Bosk to be like 320 plus speed, I think, so they can outrun Bo-Katan on the enemy side. So something to point in mind, you will need speed on Jango and as well potency at 110. And then up next we've got Bosk. So here I'm as well modded him for speed and potency. Now Bosk needs to be your fastest character, so mine there's at 325, and on him as well I put potency just because his hunting prey special as well can stun. So, you know, if you do not have anybody dazed, stun will save you as well from counterattacks. Up next, got Grief here, also modded for speed and some potency, so I have him at 304. And then his potency there is at 77%, just because his basic can daze as well, which is again preventing counterattacks. And finally Mandalorian here, having modded for speed, so he's at 279. Now he doesn't need to be like crazy fast, because anyway whenever he scores a critical hit, he will be gaining bonus turn meter as well as other bounty hunter allies. And we do have 2 mass assists here with Bosk and Grief, so this will give Mandalorian chance twice to critical hit in for each of those times gain bonus turn meter. Okay, let's hop into battle now and let me show you how this team operates. So as mentioned before, we have to be fast enough here, get a taunt up. Here with Jango, just get some burning going. Obviously without his leadership, burning won't do much really. Anyway, let's first start and the Iskander is there, so he doesn't get his bonus turn meter going. Now these guys are all in stealth, so you can feel free to attack anybody. So I'm just calling Grief here to assist, to as well daze another enemy. I don't worry about Bo, I'll disintegrate her anyway. Get a stun on another enemy. There we go. Hopefully land maybe. Actually I don't need to stun Bo. Let's try and go after their Mandalorian. Because Bo will disintegrate anyway. Another mass assist there, no stuns unfortunately. Let's renew our taunt. Time to disintegrate Bo already. Boom, there she goes. Our next target there should be Beskar Mandalorian. There we go. Big hit from Jango, took him out. And all these guys are either stunned or dazed, so they won't be counter-attacking. It's just a case here of finish them off one by one, no issues whatsoever. So as you can see, this team works really well. Even a low star, low gear Aurra there, surviving no issues. For now, okay, let's get another stun there. And that's why it's important, as mentioned before, to really put some potency in your bounty hunters on this one, just so you can land all these dazes and stuns reliably. Because you do not want these guys counter-attacking, because as you can see, they're already up to 54% stacks of the clan loyalty, so they have a high counter chance already. Alright, there we go. Alright, now this team, like I mentioned before, it works well when you have slightly higher geared bounty hunters, probably gear 12 or above, so you can put some good mods on them, give them enough speed to outrun the enemy. If you do not have all of them gear 12 or above, probably you will have to go with Jango Lead, which I will show you now in the second battle after we disintegrate Canderous here, finish off Gar, renew the taunt, why not, blow him up, and there we go. So this team here, as you can see, easily and quickly completes all 4 feats in a single battle. Obviously completed the battle, yep. Used full squad of bounty hunters, check. Attacking 8 turns in a row, no issues whatsoever. And then finally, thanks to Aurra's lead, we were also able to gain stealth at least 10 times. So one team, max rewards, no issues here whatsoever. Okay, so as mentioned before, we are here now in the second battle where I'll be using Jango Lead, because in this account here I only have Mandalorian at gear 8, as well as Grief at gear 8. So then adding another low star, low gear character such as Aurra, I just couldn't get it to work because these two guys were just too slow. So getting that plus 30 speed from Jango there, I was able to outrun the enemy regardless. So just another option if you don't have Aurra or you can't get it to work, or your bounty hunters are lower gear, you can try out a couple of options here. So what we'll be using here is Jango Lead, plus 30 speed, but most importantly there, when Jango's in the link slot, enemies with burning can't gain bonus turn meter. That's why it will be crucial there to land burning on Canderous so he doesn't start get bonus turn meter. That will be the key there. And similar modding strategy as in the first battle, you want to load your Jango with potency and speed. Now because we got plus 30 speed here from Jango, we don't need to have like crazy insane speeds on these guys. 300 plus for Jango and Bosk will do. So my Jango is at 302 speed and 130% potency, because we need that burning to land. And then here Bosk as well modded for speed, so he's at 304 and potency at 105%. And that is because we can hopefully land this stun reliably. Then we got Grief, gear 8. Obviously, from my testing, try to get Grief and Mando to be 250 speed, roughly 250 plus speed. That should be enough to outrun their bow, because Mandalorian, when he critically hits, he gains bonus turn meter as well as bounty hunter allies. So we will rely on Mandalorian to give us a little bit of turn meter boost. But I found that the 250 kind of was enough. And got my Boba here, gear 12. Also modded for speed at 300. And then potency at 94%. Because remember, his AoE can ability block, which can, save you as well from that. And then finally, gear 8 Mandalorian. Modded for, as much speed as I could. At gear 8, so he's at 251. Alright, so we'll be going in onto the battle. Obviously, Jango's contract is a little bit harder to trigger than Aurra's, because you have to deal damage to debuffed enemies 20 times. And obviously, we'll have to unload the AoE there from Boba to help us out, as well as an AoE from Jango. And you can get lots of counter attacks from all those AoEs. So, I needed to do this maybe like 10 times, just that I didn't get a lot of counterattacks. Otherwise, Bosk just gets nuked straight in the beginning from all the counterattacks and assists. So just something to point out here, that this team, because we do not have stealth like we do with Aurra, it takes a little bit more attempts there. Okay, here we go. Alright, so here, first things first, Bosk needs to go first, get a taunt up, and then Jango needs to go second. And here hoping that, all this extra potency we have will land burning on Canderous so he can't gain bonus turn meter. Alright, And as well, we need to land burning on as many targets as we can, so then that when Boba follows up with his AoE, this will also work towards our contract. There you go, excellent. We got 4 out of 5 enemies there with burning. And now because of frenzy, boss gets another turn here. So what I'll do is stun Canderous, and we landed a daze on him there as well from basic on Grief. Let's try and land here now ability block on Bow, so she doesn't use her AoE spell in case she gets a turn. Alright, Chaos, she was able to get it out, unfortunately. Now with everybody dazed, I can't get mass assist here with Grief, so instead I just cleansed the daze off my guys. Okay, so far so good, not getting many counter attacks and assists there on Bosk, so he's hanging in there. Just single attacks now on Canderous. We do not want to get any counter attacks. He's the only one dazed, so we definitely do not want to risk that. So just basic on Canderous. Now we got Disintegrate online. Take out Bow. There she goes. Perfect. Now our next target here should be Beskar Mandalorian. So now we can just go ahead and use Mass Assist on him. There we go, putting some big damage on him. Oh, he dodged there. Lucky one. Mass attack. Come on, almost got him. That should take care of him. Okay. Now again, the only target dazed or stunned is Canderous. So I do not want to get counterattacks at this point. Yeah. Because obviously we're not in stealth here. So I just keep going after Canderous. Let's cleanse of that buff immunity. There we go. Almost got him. Let's try and land a daze now on somebody else. Perfect. Because obviously Grief there is in stealth. That's why I have him modded for potency as well. And now that we got Garsax on their daze, just basic attacks on him, so we don't get any counter attacks from the Imperial Super Commando there. Let's heal up a bit. Alright, we got another Disintegrate coming online here. Just basic attacks. Basic attacks, there we go. Let's see if we can daze the Commando as well. Oh, he resisted. Now because of Jango's leadership there, now contract is triggered. We all have Bounty Hunters resolve, so everybody can ignore taunt, including Grief and their Bosk. Let's disintegrate their guard because he had potency up, so we wouldn't be able to land daze or stun on him. Imperial Super Commando, he's dazed there, so we can now just finish him off. And that should complete here the feats as well, apart from the stealth feat that is. There we go. Again, mentioned before, Aurra Lead is better, you know, it just took me a couple of attempts to get it right, whereas this one I needed about, I think, 7 or 8 attempts in order that I didn't get as many counterattacks in beginning when I unloaded those AoEs with Jango and Boba. But otherwise, pretty good run, not all that complicated, just when you get that opening sequence right without many counterattacks. And here we go, so as mentioned before, for this other account where I couldn't get Aurra Sync to work because of my Gear 8, Grief and Mandalorian, to gain stealth 10 times I used Maul Lead there. I do have Zayt on his leadership, so though, you know, you just gain stealth out of the gate, and then whenever you kind of evade or you critical hit again, you will be gaining evasion because of Maul's lead. So all these guys are Sith. So any sort of, you know, Sith team here with Maul Lead will get it done as long as you can win. You know, you don't need to worry about regaining stealth 10 times at all. But probably there are other ways to do it. Maybe Rage Jedi training there with the droids and R2 could be good. So R2 can keep using his smoke screen every second turn, and that should give you as well very quickly the stealth. Maybe depending on how good your Night Sisters are, and you could, you know, use Acolyte. She keeps regaining stealth over and over again. And then another option, again, if you do have good Geos, Geospy again, regaining stealth over and over again. So there's just, you know, a few different options just on top of my head that can help you get the stealth feat done easily. Or if you're one of the lucky ones that you do have Bad Batch as well geared up, they as well have a lot of stealth mechanic built in, and they should be able to get this done as well, probably quite easily. As long as probably, you know, you have them relic or whatever. I don't know how high relic you need to have them that you can keep, that you can defeat these batch of Mandalorians. But, you know, as long as you can keep Canderous under control, the other guys don't really do all that much damage, I think. Even if Beskar Mandalorian gets his Whistling Birds out, I don't know. he did in some of my testings. He did get it out before, but you know, didn't do a whole lot of damage, to be honest. Alright, so looks like Malik's in trouble. Let's dispel the taunt there. Obviously this comes from Bo-Katan's leadership. All Mandalorians there gain an ability that they can cleanse, debuffs on themselves, gain tenacity up and taunt. So that could a little bit get in the way. But anyway, with Kendra's they're out, no issues whatsoever. Just going to burn through these guys, and that will be it really. Completing here max rewards yet again. Not sure if there's any other teams that could do stealth. I'm pretty sure many of you will figure out other teams. I guess you could do something with Dooku as well, right? Maybe you could do General Grievous with droids, and as well Dooku, and then Magna Guard will hide everybody except himself, right? And then, you know, this is kind of like stealth 4 times, and then Dooku there as well can get stealth as well to separatist allies as well, right? Nude's got stealth as well once he gets taken out, so there's definitely opportunity there for some sort of General Grievous, Dooku, Nude squad there. That has got some stealth in there. Maybe even Geospy, he's got stealth there also. So some sort of mixed separatist team there that they all kind of have some sort of stealth mechanics. That could work actually as well. I just thought, you know what, I literally never use my Maul. I just had to get him up to unlock Sith Eternal Emperor, and this just seemed like a good way of easily and quickly gain stealth 10 times with a Sith squad. Alright guys, this completes today's challenge. So as I showed you there, you've got a little bit 2 options, a little bit of flexibility with the bounty hunters, whether you want to go down the Aurra Lead route or Jango Lead. Either of them works well depending on what you've got. And then the stealth feed, again, many options, I'm pretty sure. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, that you find it useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server. But until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.